What's going on, everybody? It's Eli here from TreeFall Studios, indie game developer here, and you guys may have noticed, but things around you are getting quite expensive, and I don't just mean video games. If you watch this channel, you either like to play video games or you like to make video games or a bit of both. If you've been watching this channel recently, you might have noticed that I've been talking about how the rising cost of things have been putting pressure on our video game development business. And like other studios, this small studio is definitely affected by all of the rising cost of tools, cost of living, other things like that. And because of these high prices and cost of game development, our team is going to be leaving the Unity game engine. I've been developing games with Unity for over 10 years now. I am beyond comfortable with the software. I actually really like it. I'm not so much the company, but the actual software itself is really nice. And at this point, the rising costs have basically just decided to push us out, and we've made the decision to finally leave Unity and switch to a new game engine. Figured I'd update you guys with this because I made a video like kind of trashing Unity back when the runtime fee issue came out, talking about how you can't really trust the company anymore, and that they would most likely backpedal. And it didn't really matter in my case because I couldn't escape Unity at this point. I didn't really trust them, but I have so many games in development, so much time and years of skills built in the engine, too many projects that still relied on the engine, that the cost of switching would be just astronomically difficult, and that I would be trying to find a new way forward, most likely learning the Unreal Engine in the future. And that's what I mentioned in that video, which took place about a year and a half ago, I think. I have to go back and look for sure. And so I spent this past year paying for Unity Pro, because now you have to pay for Unity Pro in order to develop on consoles. And I mentioned to the audience here on YouTube a while back, about a year ago, when I was getting ready to continue using Unity, that I would continue trying to release the games in our pipeline, finish them up, and then have a little bit of a transition period where I would learn the Unreal Engine. And I'm just making this video for you guys today because I've been looking at our game dev finances, seeing the sales charts, and looking at what's coming in and looking at what's going out. And what's going out is increasing every single year and almost on a monthly basis for different things we have to pay for in order to keep the game development business running. And a huge portion of that is what we pay Unity every single month. And I had to just look and see when our Unity Pro license was going to renew, because it turns to find out that Unity has already raised the price again. So the plan that I am currently using, once my plan renews, it's going to just bump up and go up in price again. With all of those factors, I just had to sit and think, is it worth it to keep going? I want to stay in business. I've been making videos to give people advice on how to stay in business in this volatile market when, tons of game developers are going out of business, indie developers are going out of business, but AAA businesses are closing everywhere. Huge businesses are closing. Platform holders are looking like they're having, a little bit of issues. And I'm planning on staying in business no matter what it takes. So one of the things I've decided to cut is Unity. So I wanted to make this video for you guys to talk about all of the games that I'm planning on releasing like really soon. We have about, I don't know, 6 months or something like that left with the Unity engine. So my current goal and my plan is to get as many of the games that we've had in development for years. We've had a few games that have been in development for years, been kind of working on in the background, some for like maybe the last year or so that have just kind of been working on the background, move around to different projects, some that have been in development for only a few months. But basically all of these combination of years of work, what I'm going to try to do is finish them over the next 6 months, just month after month after month. And I'm going to surprise my long-term TreeFall Studios fans, because anything that's like heavily reliant on the Unity engine, or AKA is going to be just too hard to translate it into the Unreal Engine or a different engine, it would just be easier and more cost-effective to just go ahead and finish it in the Unity engine. That's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm making this video to talk about how, basically the rising costs are putting pressure on even the smallest development studios like mine, and the things that we have to think about in order to stay in business. But the good news for you guys for this video is, if there's a project that you've been waiting for us to get back to or release, It's either coming out in the next 6 months and you're going to be surprised, or it's going to make it in the list that gets translated to a new engine, and it will be out in the next couple of years, hopefully. I have a certain number of projects that I think are going to be the key goals to work on while I finish up my time with Unity, and some that I think might translate easier to the Unreal Engine, and we're going to be talking about all of those really soon. So I don't have a date to announce for you guys, but back in 2023, I actually did a show in the summer called the TreeFall Studios Games Experience. Was it TreeFall Studios Games Summer Games Experience? I think it was called Summer Games Experience. Well, we're going to do that again this year, and I think it's going to be towards the end of May. I want to stay away from the beginning of June because it's kind of like the E3 time, and the Summer Games Fest will be kicking off, and Switch 2 will be coming out and all that stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a busy news cycle. So we're going to try to come out before all of that, and I will give you guys an exact date soon. But be looking forward to it. Old TreeFall Studios fans, new TreeFall Studios fans. I'm going to be just reaching deep into the well. We're going to be having a lot of projects come out, and we're basically having just a giant summer of TreeFall Studios for all of the fans in my Discord server. I've kind of been teasing it and joking about it for a little while now, and we're just going to be calling it the Summer of TreeFall. So I hope you guys are ready for the Summer of TreeFall, and you're looking forward to seeing some new games come out. It's going to be crazy how many games we're releasing. The first game is actually releasing today. If you haven't been paying attention to the channel and seen our new trailers, 1-2 Fantastic Word Search is out and available today on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 for only $1.99. I was just talking about how rising pressures of video game have been putting rising costs have been putting pressure on video game studios, and people have been trying to raise the prices of video games like Nintendo and other things like that. Well, we're not doing that. Our game costs $1.99, and yeah, it's a short game, but maybe that's a breath of fresh air. You can solve some word searches and have fun on a budget. That is the first game to kick off the TreeFall Studios summer, basically. So any kind of series like that, they'd be expecting to, that's the complete end of the trilogy for our word search series. Be expecting different things like that to be just coming out left and right over the summer. That's the perfect example. It's kind of what I wanted to make this video and have it come out today, because it is the perfect example of what we're going to be doing all summer to finish up and just close the book on all of the different games we have in Unity. And we're going to be taking a year or two to learn the Unreal Engine, release a large game or two from Unreal, and then I've got some maybe surprising plans for our future engine usage after that. And if we can get to that point, I will update you guys, and it's going to be crazy. I think I might tease a little bit of it on the Patreon page later. But guys, what game engine, if you are a game developer, let me know in the comments below. Are you still using the Unity game engine? Can you handle these rising costs? At this point, it's about, I think the new price is $2,500 per person per year. And that is a little misleading because that does not include the tax. So depending on where you live, the sales tax is going to be, probably 5 to 10% more. In my area, it's a little bit over 7%. So 7% of 2,500 is a lot of extra money. So we're talking about a lot of money per year, because that is not the only cost that goes into game development. You have to buy dev kits, you have to pay for, internet services, your computer, all sorts of other things like that. Your accountant, your business licenses, etc., etc., etc. A lot of different things go into it in order to keep the game development studio running. Are you guys still using the Unity engine? Have you switched over to Godot? Are you trying to go free and open source? Are you trying to learn the Unreal Engine? Is there a secret engine out there that you are using that we don't know about? Let us know in the comments down below. But I wanted to try to encourage you guys, even though that these are very shaky financial times for many people and companies like ours, I'm going to keep persevering and trying my best to release some awesome games for you guys that you hopefully enjoy and long-term TreeFall fans are really going to find interesting. Without further ado, I got to give a huge shout out to everybody who supports TreeFall Studios on Patreon.com. That would be PLP, Thomas Stewart, Shark and Minnow, and Space My Name. Thank you guys for what you do for TreeFall Studios on Patreon.com. I really couldn't do what I do without you guys. It's a lot of help to the game studio. If you guys are interested, you can check out the Patreon page down below. And a big thanks for everybody who supports supports the page as well. All right, guys, I hope you are looking forward to learning more about our journey into the Unreal Engine and other engines in the future. We are going to be making all sorts of videos documenting our transition from Unity to new engines. And I hope you guys are looking forward to the TreeFall Studios Summer Games Experience and new TreeFall Studios games soon. If you're going to pick up 1-2 fantastic word search today, please let me know in the comments down below. Hit us up on one of our social media pages or our Discord and let me know what you guys think of the game. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next video.